Scott Ayres. Well, there are a lot of people right now. I've had people come up to me and say, hey, I want to try it. The link is in the first comment about Instagram. That is, in LinkedIn, because they see better results. I just started doing a lot for the lab, and what you can do is that the best thing about Facebook Ads Manager that I love right now is the ability to test A/B ads without having to. Once upon a time, remember you had to put 2 separate ads and publish them yourself? Now it's like boom, I want to try 2 different images. And now you can try 2 different images. Scott Ayres. But for me, in this case, if I get at least 5 to 10 more reach by putting it in the first comment, I'll put it in the first comment. I mean, in the original post. Apologize, even if that means you're doing the blank space day. Posting content in social media, one of the hottest topics. And you went specifically to LinkedIn, but one of the hottest topics is, you care more about long things. Short things? I think if people are just, hey, this is my last blog post, you probably don't have much commitment, but you've tried thousands of words. Essentially a LinkedIn blog post. Scott Ayres. So we tested this because my theory was that my hypothesis was that if you put it in the original post, you'd have a greater reach, because I'm not a fan of putting it in the comments because it seems bit I don't know. So what we're trying to do now is try to try several accounts and several industries. Because if you're just trying, the bad thing about many of us in social media marketing is, you can probably vouch for that. We say, hey, go ahead, do it. Tell me when the Periscope started. John Jantz. So I invented a drinking game for LinkedIn, and so on. When people make me a connection request, I review my connection request for the day and bet on those who join me and try to sell me something in 24 hours. Scott Ayres. Of course, we have a lot of different things our tool does. But on the one hand, at a basic level, plan your content, which is good when you test, especially across multiple accounts. Scott Ayres. That tells us in me that although it seems a little better to have different carousels, it's not necessarily necessary to do it and take the time to do it, because there are a lot of people who don't have this option. We are simply posting an announcement about an experience we have had with Instagram. Namely, that it is better to put hashtags in the original message than in the first comment. Because many people have been teaching for years, put them in the first comment. Put them in the first comment. And until recently, there were no tools, no legitimate tools to do it anyway. John Jantz. So how do you explain that? And I know that the calculator and the PS score are trying to say yes, more or less, but how do you explain it in social media? There are so many variables that come into play in much of the experiment. If you try and go back to our original Facebook one and the carousel ads appear in the individual images, it's like yes, well, everyone will go in that direction. John Jantz. Let's talk about some of the experiments and you can develop them. But I'll start with what you tried. Scott Ayres. So I think we owe a lot to the world of social media marketing. A kind of pontificate that has worked very well for us, that we think will work well for everyone else and will not work. Scott Ayres. Yes, it was an interesting test. Melanie Dodaro, who is somehow known for her marketing skills on LinkedIn, she saw an interesting trend in her updated text.